Hi everyone, I'm Ivy. Today I want to explore something that's deeply personal but also widely debated: self-diagnosis of ADHD and autism. I recently saw a post right here on LinkedIn and it said, "Are people inappropriately self-diagnosing ADHD and autism, or are they conducting due diligence by researching it online before presenting to health services for assessment?" Let me know your thoughts. Now, I did have my own response on LinkedIn, but I wanted to come on here and share my personal journey of what self-diagnosis meant for me and why this topic's so important. So whether you're just starting to explore or reflecting on your own experiences, I hope this resonates with you. So let's dive in. My journey began with small but telling moments. At work, feedback described me as robotic or odd. I was struggling with my personal life, and I kind of got curious. I started digging into what might explain these patterns. I found some articles that I read, some forums, took some tests, and each test I took consistently placed me in the high range for autism. But I didn't stop there. I had several friends take the same test as a control, also some coworkers. They all scored low, and that confirmed that there was something worth exploring. So by the time I brought this up with my therapist, she validated my concerns. She said my experiences match patterns common in autism. However, she wasn't qualified to diagnose me and encouraged me to find a specialist. When I met with that specialist, I came prepared. I had notes, I'd had the test results, I had strength finders, disc assessments, I had like 184 bookmarks for things that I'd read, along with some observations about how I grew up. He told me that I'd done most of the diagnostic legwork for him. In fact, he asked where I found the online tests because he wants to use them as pre-screening tools for other patients. So that validation kind of meant everything to me. That assessment process was thorough. Beyond the online tests, the specialist added evaluations to rule out other conditions and confirm his findings. In his professional opinion, I was on the autism spectrum. He officially diagnosed me with ASD1. What stood out to him was how my intelligence, vocabulary, and challenging childhood, where I changed schools almost yearly, actually helped me develop coping mechanisms to mask my struggles. That diagnosis was a turning point for me. It gave me clarity about why I struggle with certain situations, like social interactions and sensory overload. But it also left me reflecting on how much I had masked prior to fit into a world that was not designed for people like me. Learning I was autistic explained so much about my life, but it also brought challenges. I had to figure out how to integrate this knowledge into my relationships and work. And one of the hardest parts was deciding when and how to disclose my diagnosis. I started with my therapist, close friends. Some people responded with understanding, others dismissed it or misunderstood what it meant. Even within my own family, reactions were mixed. My mom, for instance, initially struggled with the label, but she did come around after reading the complete guide to Asperger's syndrome. She told me that it helped her understand me in a way that she never really had before. Those years were probably some of the most challenging in my life. I finalized a divorce, I said goodbye to a home, I helped my mom through a terminal illness, so I was dealing with a lot of loss at the time, including the loss of how I saw myself. Amid all this, my autism diagnosis became kind of both a relief and a lens through which I could re-examine my life. I realized that masking had been my default for a long time, but it wasn't sustainable. Talking to others helped immensely, whether it's sharing my journey with employee resource groups or engaging others in conversation. I found strength in being open about my diagnosis. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Is self-diagnosis a valid first step, or does it pose risks? Based on my experience, it can be a powerful tool when approached responsibly. If you're on a similar path, know this: you are not alone. Self-discovery and self-diagnosis is the first step towards understanding and advocating for yourself. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep this conversation going. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day.